Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's live stream. As per usual, the mics have taken their toll on me. Welcome to tonight's live stream. I am joined, as ever, by the wonderful Matt Pedalston. Hello, Matt.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm very well, thank you very much. How's it going, everybody at home? Great to have you all with us. We did a little survey before we started, and I think we had somebody from Argentina tonight, which I think is the furthest afield of anybody. So hello from Argentina. Hello to Argentina and anybody else that's watching at home. We also have a special guest with us tonight, who is a disembodied voice for tonight. But Jasper, hello.
Hello, good evening. Nice to be here again.
It's great to have you with us, Jasper. We were just talking before we started. The last time we had you on was in July time last year with the Island Line.
Yeah, quite some time ago. Yeah, looking forward to this one.
Yeah, so are we. Of course, tonight we are here to showcase to you Edinburgh, Glasgow. We are really, really excited for this one, Matt, aren't we?
Oh yeah, no, I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's a good fun drive and it's a really cool train.
Yeah, and there's lots of interesting little additions and lots of interesting characteristics that have been added to both the loco and the route that we think you're going to really, really love. So, you know what I'm going to say first? Before we get into the fun stuff, it's time for some admin. Woohoo! We released earlier on an important piece of information for anybody who is a PlayStation player. We're going to go into this in a little bit more detail. We're going to explain some of the intricacies of this. But for reasons which we will discuss later, we will be splitting the release date for this add-on. So if you are an Xbox, a Steam, or an Epic player, you will be able to play it on Thursday as previously billed. For PlayStation players, we will be pushing the release date back a few days to Tuesday the 31st of January. Obviously, we apologise for any inconvenience that might cause. We'll go into a little bit of detail why that is as we go through the live stream. We don't want to dwell on it too much right now because we know we want to get into the good stuff. So Edinburgh to Glasgow, it is Rivet's first route for Train Sim World 3. We're really excited to be able to showcase it for you tonight. And pre-order is available now on Steam for a 10% discount. We will be saying that a few times over the course of the live stream. My marketing head is on. I think, actually, you know what? The rest of the admin can do one. Let's go into the fun, shall we? So let's go for the game cam footage. So Jasper's going to be a voice throughout the course of this. We're going to ask some questions. We're going to talk a little bit about the route and how it's come into being. But Matt is going to be our driver for the evening. So Matt, let's show the route. Let's show the services. Let's show the scenarios, and then let's get into some fun.
Cool. Let's have a look at. So you got this is including layers from the 66 railhead treatment train, and also from Cathcart Circle. There's one service on the 66 railhead treatment train. There is two services with the Cathcart. So this is a rail tour service. The 314 doesn't normally run on this route, but it's really cool to have the opportunity to drive it on this route. So this is just a special rail tour type service. The majority of what you'll be doing will be either on the 4-car or the 3-car. So that's the 3850 or the 3851. So the 4-car service is generally going to be doing Edinburgh Glasgow services or Glasgow Alloa services or depot services. So you've got Eastfield Depot and all sorts of stuff going on here. Lots and lots of things to do. Journeys backwards and forwards. Lots of differences in timings as well, you'll notice as well. So this is a 52-minute run. This is a 48-minute run in the other direction, doing the same thing. So there's things going to be getting in your way and reasons for each of the services, slightly different lengths. So if you were looking for a more troubled journey, find the longer ones. The 3-car one then is the Dunblane services out of Edinburgh. So these only go as far as Polmont, and then it'll switch over to being an AI train as it diverges. But these give you the opportunity to drive the 3-car 385 heading out of Edinburgh on a nice short service.
Lovely. And Jasper, you sounded like you wanted to jump in there and give a little bit of context. Is there anything you wanted to say?
No, sorry.
No, okay, brilliant. Well, I've got some numbers for you to be able to jump in. So there are 221 playable services for the 385, 143 AI services. There are, as we just showed earlier, 2 playable services for the Glasgow Cathcart Circle 314 and 2 AI services. There's one RHTT service, 2 AI RHTT services, and there are some tram services as well, which is very exciting.
Not playable.
AI 78 AI services. So what we're going to do is we're going to kill the face cams. We're going to go fully into the game so that you don't have to see our faces. Let's do that.
So this is the scenario. So time to Glasgow. The puns don't get any better. High grounds. Don't mist around. Snow drifting on rails. And 1 step to freedom. So those are the 5 scenarios. And the question was asked about journey. So 46 steps in total. So you've got the introduction and scenarios. You've got the selection of services. Another selection of services. The capital runs, which is the ones main lines back to front, back to front, back and forward, and then Bonnie Ride. So a wide variety of different services there. So lots of stuff to look at in the chapters. Actually, let me come all the way back out and go into Edinburgh timetable. Right, what was the service?
So we are going for the 1R43 from Edinburgh towards Glasgow, set in June with some light clouds. We all want a little bit of sun right now, don't we? It's pretty cold here in the UK.
Oh, it's the same over here in Germany as well. So
I'm going to put it on
summer
custom
perfect.
weather. Sorry, Jasper. I'm going to put it on custom weather so that it doesn't just turn to a foggy mess 10 minutes in. And well, that's lovely and atmospheric. It's no use to actually see what the thing looks like. So 1R43 Waverley, Edinburgh to Glasgow with June custom clouds.
Someone's joking about how you're level 8. How are you only level 8?
My profile gets reset. And it's on about 18 different computers, and I have no idea. I don't really track our level. I uninstall and reinstall game and wet profile all the time. Right, welcome to the 385. Let's come back to the cab and just have a quick wander around outside. In order to open the door, I'm going to have to press the door button.
Congratulations on your award.
Just because I've seen it in the chat, there's been the question of the 4 and the 8 car service, and obviously we have both. So we're driving a 4 car service right now, but the 8 car services are in there as well.
I love this livery. It's so cool.
It is, isn't it?
It's quite iconic, isn't it?
Right, so we'll look around inside, get all this stuff out of the way, and then we can spend some time in the cab.
Yeah, we'll do a little exploration of Edinburgh Waverley a little bit later on as well. So we'll get into the driving first, and then we'll do that a little bit later on. Oh, question about setup time. I know that was one of the things we were going to ask later, actually, but might as well ask it now because it's been asked in the chat, Jasper. In terms of setup time, how long are we looking at for players to be able to get everything set up, ready to depart?
It's 1 minute, including opening the doors, like loading the passengers.
Okay. I think that's an improvement, isn't it? Because it was significantly less than that beforehand. It should give you enough time to get everything ready to go.
Yeah. We've upgraded it from the island line, but yeah, so a little bit more time now.
Right, okay, let's power up. We've had a quick tour of the unit. So master key in and put the reverser into forward. Let's get the doors open, which I'm going to do with this one. While we're here, I'm going to turn on the door control lights, which indicators, which we'll get into why a little bit later on. I am going to turn safety systems on, which you can use Control Enter, Shift Enter for, or you can come and operate levers and switches. There you go. AWS. Vigilance is on. ESD. Right, we're all enabled. Here the AWS going away. Right, that's all set up now. Let's pop the DRA on until we're ready to go. Right, now, you're all waiting for me to play with this thing, aren't you?
Oh, of course. This is the money shot.
All right, this is the TMS. So it boots up with just in this screen, so you can see what's going on. You press confirm and say, right, we're all good. Log in. type anything. Okay, so 11111, enter. PIN 22222. You can type anything, and then press login. Right, we're in. So we know now what our current service is 1 hour 43. See the current time, where we're going. See the status of the current doors. If you pop this arrow up here on the bottom left, you can turn the saloon lighting on. So that's turning the coach lights on behind us. And we can go to the auto announce section, click on customer info, and we should just tell people...
Welcome to the ScotRail service to Glasgow Queen Street.
Good, that's got that done. So we've announced the train, we have a look at the doors. And we've got the driver advisory, which is useful for knowing what's going on in the power. It doesn't actually give you the advisory system itself, isn't actually there though. Right, so let's get some power on and go. Oh, yeah, duh. I've outsmarted myself.
That's been cool.
So, confirmed, DRA works a treat. Right, so we're on our way now. Let's give the passengers a quick update.
Just bear with us a second. We're getting a little bit of echo from some players mentioning it. So, just going to take a quick look at the echo.
The next station is Haymarket.
Right, so we're on our way out now. This is Edinburgh. Oop. We're in a tunnel. First of the tunnels coming out of Edinburgh towards Haymarket. We've got another tunnel coming up. Should really have stick to the speed limit, shouldn't I? The speed limit does get better. So there's no sort of, for those who might be looking for like a cruise control, speed control, there's nothing like that on here. Wiper control is just down here, if it was raining. AWS horn. Right. Set my lights on, didn't I? No, they're on. Let's put them on full. Thank you. I can speed up now. Right, we're coming into Haymarket in about half a mile. This is the longer of the tunnels. If I just pop a map view on real quick, this is Edinburgh, Haymarket. This is Haymarket Depot. You've got the football ground here, Murrayfield, and then the line continues on here up towards Glasgow. Got Eastfield Depot and Glasgow Queen Street. I'm sure we'll be looking at that again.
We'll soon arrive at Haymarket.
Left that braking a bit late, never mind. It's all good. Passengers don't mind if you miss the stopboard. It's all cool. Right, I'm going to do something different to open the doors here. So you remember I turned the door handover light on? If the door handover light is on, the guard panel works. So let's pop out here. Remember, you can just use the Y key. You can use whatever means you prefer. Somewhere down here, there's a guard panel. That's the one on the other side. That's the one I'm looking for. So let's pop this in. Activate the panel, and then door release. And that will have opened everything, and I need to just door local open this one.
just when you've got that done, Matt, we take a look at the. I think we're getting double sound from the gameplay. So just
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure if we just need to take a quick look at the audio setup, but we're dialing in Jasper from Teams. Tried to turn Jasper off, and it's not changed, unfortunately. But we're grateful that Jasper's still around.
Let me. Hello. I slammed the wrong door.
Matt, it might be that it only allows for one side to be handed over. I don't know if that's the issue.
Yeah, I don't know. This was all working a treat. I did an entire run opening and closing the doors, running up and down like the train, like a loony. Still
Yeah,
getting
I've
echo.
never seen this before either, so.
I don't know where we're getting echo from though. It's the game that's echoing, is it? Can you mute the microphones a minute?
Just going to turn the mics off. Can you just let us know if it stops echoing when we turn our mics off?
Yes, we're back. Right, so we're getting game audio. Is this working now and has it duplicated anything? I'll do an announcement in a minute. We're just sorting the audio out first. Right, so okay, so all the echo is fixed. Now what we need to do is route Hawks VAIO into A1 and A2. And we do get Jasper.
Can we get a quick check, please?
Say it one more time. You would say it's worse now that you can hear me.
There we go. Thanks, Moggy. Cheers very much for the kind words. All right, thanks for everybody for keeping with us. Should we do the announcements so that they're not echoey?
Linlithgow. I can't hear Jasper. Right, okay, hang on a minute. At least I haven't...
Again, hello. Hello. Moggy in the chat is quite funny, actually. That's really good.
Can you hear Jasper? He is sitting here talking away.
Still trying to do it.
There we go.
Oh,
We're
looks
back.
good.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Ooh, awesome.
Right, so this is the first time we've dialed somebody in remotely, and we have learned our lesson for next time round. Obviously, as before, as always with these kinds of things, we do a little dry run beforehand, and we didn't experience any problems, and then look what happens when we go live.
Awesome.
Right,
Yeah.
brilliant. Thanks very much, everybody, for bearing with us. Let's get this show properly on the road. I know you've been listening to all of the sounds already and all of the seeing all of the bits and pieces, but now you get our dulcet tones over the top of them as well. So let's go for the announcements again.
Welcome to the ScotRail service to Glasgow Route.
So we have a few questions from players on the announcements. So Will is the best. So Jasper, this is going to be some quick fire questions. I know it's the PIS. Sorry, not PIS. The PIS is going to was a different colour to perhaps what it looked like in real life. Do we know if that's been changed? I think it has been updated to green now, hasn't it? I think we saw that earlier.
Yeah, it has been updated to green. It's not showing all the information that it does in real life. I know that was one of the other feedback points. Yeah.
Cool.
But it's
How do we get the announcements? Because obviously it's one of the things that we have been particularly excited for this particular route, and obviously having kind of authentic audio and authentic voices is something that's really exciting and important. So where did we source this from?
We had a special person recording them. That's all we're really going to say about it. But yeah, it's close to what it is in real life, and yeah, it's like being a bit, keeping the secret about it.
Being very secretive.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the announcements themselves, are they all set manually, or is there any way to automate them at all at this stage?
No, they're all set manually right now. You can loop one, so that it's like playing over and over again, but it's not like that it's automatically announcing the next station as you left one.
Going a little bit quick, Matt.
Pause it.
So in terms of the passenger announcements, we talked a little bit about the PlayStation delay earlier on, but we mentioned in the article that went live earlier just around some of the reasoning why we have staggered the release date. Now, Matt, can you go into a little bit more detail about why specifically PlayStation? Because that felt like one of the questions that we were seeing quite a lot in the chat as we were starting.
Yes, so right at the 11th hour, as all of the greatest issues are found in all cases, it turned out that this console, this touchscreen interface, so the thing that turns it on and off here worked fine, but then when you actually clicked on buttons, it wasn't detecting it. Worked fine on Xbox, worked fine on PC, but PS4 and PS5, excuse me, weren't working. And we tried to find, was this a quick fix? Was this a quick, simple thing? And it wasn't. So made the hard decision that, you know what, we won't try and rush this. We'll take the time and find a fix. Happy to say that I've just tested a build just before the stream where the fix is working. So it's I can't remember what the plan is for getting that out in terms of a date. I don't know if we've said that, have we?
It's the Tuesday the 31st.
Tuesday, yeah, okay. So we are in good shape for that. So that was, as I say, the build was made today. That's got the fix in it. And it's just an architectural difference with how how these things are calculated across the different console platforms. It's too weird to try and describe what's involved actually in it. It's not obvious at all, but it works slightly differently on a PlayStation than it does on a PC, and for some reason the PlayStation didn't like it. We've changed that. It's a quick fix, yeah, like I said, we have that now.
Yeah, and the reason why, obviously, now that we have fixed and improved it, that it has to be a little bit later down the line, is to do with certification on those various different platforms, uploading new builds, all of that kind of thing takes a little bit of time, and we're in a position where, as I say, we can confirm it's going to be next Tuesday. Apologies for any inconvenience caused, but that's the reasoning, and that's why it happened only on PlayStation. So, in terms of the tech that Rivet have used to put together the announcements, obviously this is quite a sophisticated bit of kit, and it's something that we know players have been really interested and excited to find out a little bit more about and see in action. Is there anything that, as a Dovetail team, that we're taking from this particular release that we can perhaps implement within our own content moving forward? I know we talked a little bit about this in the roadmap stream a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, sorry, I'm apparently not doing a very good job at keeping to any speed limits, and I apologise. The monitor is over to the left and everything else is over to the right. So, but anyway, those are my excuses for tonight. Yes, we're definitely going to be looking and talking to Rivet about what they've done with the TMS, understanding the all of the ways that it can be used, and we know that obviously it's something that players have been looking for. We're going to look to see what feedback once you get the TMS to have a play with. See what you think of it. Tell us what you think about it. We know is what your favourite bits about it, and what you'd like to see improved, and if you think there's anything missing. And then again, we can iterate that and improve it. Same as PIS, when it first came out, was iterated and improved over a number of iterations. So, yeah, really enjoying the system. It's good fun actually to mess about with it while you're driving, so really looking forward to seeing what players think about it.
Cool. So we've had some player questions come in. We've asked some of them already, but thank you very much, everybody who submitted questions for tonight's live stream. We're going to try and whiz through as many as we can do over the course of the stream. So, question for Jasper. Damien6190 asks, will the onboard announcements only work on Edinburgh Glasgow, or will they work on other routes via putting the 385 on Scenario Planner?
They will only work on Edinburgh Glasgow as for now. You can put it on Scenario Planner on this route and it will work fine, but not on other routes.
Okay, and just while we're talking about the 385, we talked, one of the things that we're going to be mentioning a little bit later in our 10 in 10, as we're calling it, so we're going to do some re-recorded bits and pieces that we might not get to over the course of the live stream, but we think you're going to enjoy anyway. One of the things is guard panels. So obviously within Island Line, Rivet introduced some working guard panels to the loco on that particular route. Jasper, can we confirm that they're also on the 385 too?
Yes, they're on the train as well. And actually, if we have the time, I would like to talk about that a little bit, because I'm sure this will confuse a few players. If you want to use these guard panels, you need to do what Matt did earlier in this live stream, is pushing these buttons. Yeah, there's one for each side, so if you want to do it on the left side, you need to push the one on the left hand side, and the same goes for the right side. You need to do that for these to work. If you don't push these buttons, the guard panels won't work. That's just worth keeping in mind. But otherwise, the functionality is exactly the same as on the Island Line.
Cool, that's good to know. I know that they went down well there, so looking forward to seeing how players will utilise them with this particular route too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thelonious asks, can you run the guard panel while the AI drives for you?
You sort of can. It's not like that there's a specific mode for this, but you can operate the guard panels while the AI while the AI is driving. Yeah, the AI may get ahead of you though. It's not like fully supported.
Guard mode isn't really a supported mode, as Jasper said, but just the same as that I saw players having fun pretending on Isle of Wight. You can do the same thing here. It is quite a good system.
Yeah, you can operate them. It's just
Before I get moving, I'm going to do another announcement just so that you can see without all the train noise in the background.
Welcome to the ScotRail service to Glasgow Queen Street. The next station is Holmont.
So cool. I really enjoy that.
And then, because this is me driving,
Fast train.
Relentless Phoenix has asked, can you manually change the PIS?
Yes, you can. On the right-hand side, yeah, there are these two buttons. It's not what they do in real life, we're aware of that, but we found that's the best place to put them. Yeah, and you can change the destination with that.
If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text British Transport Police 61116. See it, say it, sort it.
I'm so glad we got a CSA sorted in there. Can we get an external cam view so that we can hear the motors from the outside?
Well, that's probably worth doing when we're leaving the station or coming to stop.
You make a very good point, Jasper. Maybe we should do that next time we leave the station.
Sounds good. Just because I've seen the question in the chat, do AI trains display their destination? Yes, they do. That's working. And they do make announcements as well. I'm sorry if I'm taking away one of the questions.
No, by all means, jump in. Jump in. If you're seeing
Perfect.
questions in the chat that we can jump on now, let's absolutely do it.
Yeah, just because we were talking about it. So yeah, the AI will announce things to you every time it completes an objective. There's like a 60% chance that it will announce a random announcement to you. So it's not every time, but over a run you'll hear a few announcements.
Cool. VIP Boy asks how long the route is. It's 48 miles, 77 kilometres from Edinburgh Waverley to Glasgow Queen Street via Falkirk High. So we've not necessarily talked too much about the actual route yet. And obviously this is an iconic route that connects the two biggest cities in Scotland. And I believe as part of the second run, we're going to hopefully come into Edinburgh and be able to see some of the sights of Edinburgh in the background. Obviously, we're going towards Glasgow with this particular service. But Jasper, what are your highlights of the route? What are your favourite parts of the route yourself when you've been driving it?
It's a bit weird, but there's one place that I really like. So if you're going somewhere in the middle of the route, there are these stone walls to the left and the right, and then there's like a small lake in between. I don't know if it's firefighters or something like that. I don't really know, but I think that's quite a nice place. Then obviously I love both terminal stations. This Glasgow Green Street and Edinburgh look absolutely great. And then at night time, the castle above Edinburgh looks really cool. It's like illuminated in a warm white light. That looks fantastic. I also quite like the Glasgow depot. So Eastfield is that one called. That's quite cool as well. So yeah, I think these are the highlights. There are some quite nice bridges in between as well. Yeah.
I may have left braking too late. JD distracted me.
That's going to be close.
No. No. This was the correct stopping point for a 56-car train.
Something like that.
Hopefully there's still something in the platform, though. This gives me a good example, something I can demonstrate, however. So, I didn't get anything in the platform. Excellent. So, let's improve that. And let's just put one of the cars in the platform, shall we? Or maybe two. This is quite cool, actually. This is another thing people have asked for. And Rivet have put it on the 385. Which is SDO. I'm just going to put 2 cars on the platform. Then I'm going to put it back in forwards, just so that we don't make further embarrassments later on. Door selection, the first car and the second car, and open left, and it will just open the front. I've opened the front doors. Oh my word, I am doing well tonight. So let's just close those. You can see the doors closing actually at different times as well. That's pretty neat. So yeah, let's do this properly, like we meant to. And now you can see that the doors on the rear open and the doors on the front don't. That's quite clear. I really like that.
Oh, I really like that too.
So if you overshoot, you can do cool things.
I did not know about this before the live stream, so that's very good.
It's handy for Matt.
Yeah, I need anchors, you know. Notice how you can't hear the alarms either because they're on the back end of the train. There you go, doors are shut. And again, you can see all the door statuses here on the door selection screen. On the home screen, you can see them, but you can't select the what's going on there.
Actually, if you don't... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, I mean, a cynical person would say that you deliberately overshot that one, Matt, so we could demonstrate the SDO functionality. But
that was entirely the point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I overshot my overshoot and had to back up.
Sorry, Jasper, what were you saying?
No worries. Just Matt, if you want to go outside and go back to the station for a second, that's quite cool because it's one of the places where you can actually enter the station. Oh no, don't worry. It's just take the 8 camera. That should be fine. Yeah, because the building on the left side, you can walk into that one as all the doors are open. Yeah, and then just look into this little room. That's like one of these examples on the route where we spent some extra time decorating places. Cool. So there's something more to explore.
Did I see a giant rubber duck in there as well?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
No. I don't think so. No.
Some really lovely details on this, and again, once we get to the end of this service, we'll do what we're calling our 10 in 10, and we'll show you sort of some of the other features that we might not have time to show you tonight, but are good little things to make a beeline for if you get the route when it releases.
That sounds good. There's no donkey on this route. The donkey is a dovetail thing.
Asking the hard questions now. Just for those, we'll probably come across it in the next scenario, but this is very much like a 377 style cab where you've got the open all the doors and swing this side over and so forth, so it's got all that working as well.
Yeah. It's just when you start the service, it's automatically set up for you. But if you want to, you can obviously close everything down.
Yeah.
So like there are 3 separate animations. You first need to close the door that's having all the buttons to the right, and you can close the other 2 doors. And obviously vice versa. So in order to be able to open the door that's having all the buttons on it, you need to have the other one open first.
Right, so we're coming into Falkirk High right now. I don't know why I'm saying that.
We'll soon arrive at Falkirk High.
And there is a particular route feature of which we already passed one. I didn't think anyone noticed it, but back in Edinburgh. But there's a particular route feature coming up just after Falkirk High, and I will try and get everyone to shush while we go by it. Just it'll only take a moment once we get there, but it's somewhere after Falkirk High. Nod if you know what I'm talking about, Jasper.
No, absolutely not.
When we depart this station, let's do an outside so we can hear the motors running. Crazy's nodding. They know.
Actually, that's one of the other stations where you can walk around and explore the interiors.
Let's do it.
If I'm remembering it right, I hope so.
We have a few, I believe, correct answers in the chat.
Where are you seeing one? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so you can go into that one.
What do I see on the chair? Oh wow. For those who don't know, that is a haggish plushie,
Oh yeah.
which you get to put a tartan hat on.
It's just isn't that somehow? Yeah, I don't know. I love it. Purely Scottish.
Bad guy, I did kind of want Matt to wear one of those on the stream.
I would
One
have
of
if
those
you'd
hats.
provided it.
I know.
I have no shame. Right, somewhere up here. I'm just going to get it up to about 75, and then I'm going to just cut the power and let it coast for a bit. And we're going to watch the VCB. And everyone is now going, yeah, right. There's two of these on the route. There's one down by Murrayfield, near Edinburgh. And there's one down, there's one just here, but at the big junction we're coming up to. You'll see the two yellow boxes either side of the rails, two sets of them. One is a power down, one's a power up. There's nothing you need to do. What you'll see is the VCB light comes on when it shuts the power off, and then the VCB light goes off when it's reset it again. It is also displayed on the DAS down here as well. You'll see the light comes up.
Actually, if you go close to the coach with the pantograph on it, you can hear the VCB actually go in and out. So it's like a little audio supporting that. It's quite subtle, but
Somewhere up here. I think coincidentally most of my driving on this route has been in the other direction. VCB is a virtual circuit breaker, and essentially it's like your main circuit breaker. It's a master switch. It cuts the power off.
Carmad, I'm glad you asked that question. Because I was going to ask it too.
Somewhere up here.
Just in terms of these neutral sections, there's something that obviously is used for the first time on this route. Is it something that, provided it feeds back well from players and we get some interesting sort of positive reception from it, that we as Dovetail could look to perhaps implement into later?
Yeah, it's something we've been wanting to do for a while. Here's the first one. Look here. Power off. Power on. Did you hear the clunks as we went through there? Only very subtle. But as it had done that, the light would have come on here, and it does actually, because it's all linked into Simulgraph, the power will, if you happen to be accelerating through it, the power will cut off and then come back on again. But if you're on power, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to reset it or anything.
If you get stuck in a neutral section, are you stuck?
Yep,
Single
you
unit.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
as you would be in
definitely are.
reality.
But it's not likely to happen because at these sections you're already going above 60 miles.
And
so
it's
it should be
tiny.
good. Yeah, and they're really short.
You have to
be
try,
very
basically.
precise to stop them there.
You have to try to get stuck.
I see this challenge coming up.
So, if we're looking at doing the 10 in 10, I'm just trying to work out what the scenario, because what we wanted to try and do is show the entire route over the course of the stream. Shall we go to the 10 in 10 and then we can show the rest of the route via the scenario?
Let's go to Croy and then we switch over.
Go to Croy? Yeah, sure. Yep.
Yeah, there is a little indicator down here on the DAS as well, which lights up white when the when the circuit breaker's off. I can simulate that, so you can see what it would have looked like in the cab. If I just lower the pantograph, see the lights now come on, and that's now lit up. And then if I raise the pantograph, which is that one, once the pantograph's up, the light goes off. So now I've got power again. So that's what it would have looked like in the cab. The other scenario we're going to do will be from starting from Glasgow and heading out, so you will see the whole route.
We showed the guard panel earlier on in the live stream, and I believe we'll show it in the 10 in 10 as well. So we won't show it just yet, but hopefully you see it in a little bit.
Yep, and we use it again in scenario.
Yep. So Jasper, Lord Vulture asks a question which actually was asked by one of the players from our forum thread around the timetable services and sort of keeping to time. Are all of these times based off of real life timetables, or are they based on the train AI that we maybe used in the past?
That's a good question. So the starting times are actually what they are in real life, but the intermediate stops are based on what the AI is doing.
Okay.
So it's a generated timetable for in between, but the starting times are, the actual ones from the real life timetable.
Cool. So for anybody who's watching in a different language and would love to be able to see and hear kind of everything that's happening over the course of the live stream, obviously we can't have a live translation. Unfortunately, we can't do subtitles live. I don't think Google has that functionality yet. But what happens was when this becomes a video on demand, you can then, it takes a little while, but then the subtitles for other languages will also generate onto the video on demand. So have to sit tight for a little bit, but they do come eventually. That's about as good as we can do, unfortunately.
Alright, coming up to Croy, got a mile to go, and this time I'm going to overbrake, just so that we can try and get one of the stations without missing it. There's lots of these areas of the route which have got these cuttings and so forth, which are with the rock formations. So it's quite there's a lot of different scenery along the route. Slowly does it.
Gently, gently does it.
Trying to think if
The
there's anything
gently
here
is
I
5
haven't played
minutes
with
late as
yet.
well.
So we got cab lights, we've got the downlighter, which is these three lights here. You've got some battery lights over here. There's other stuff to play with. I distracted myself. F. Right.
A couple of questions about GSMR, whether that is operational on this route, Jasper?
No, it's not. Was that coming
So
through?
close.
There's coaches in the platform. We're good.
Oh, went surprised. This is one of the other stations where you can actually go in and see the interior.
This one.
Are there any other rubber ducks, Jasper, in this one that I'm going to claim are in there and then are not in there?
They are. So you can go into here and into the other room as well. Yeah.
So the thing that I thought was a rubber duck is actually a box.
I have to be honest, I wasn't sure if there was a rubber duck, but
Never
yeah.
can tell sometimes. It's worth checking. Rogue rubber ducks are a thing sometimes.
Who knows? Who knows?
Cool. Shall we go into the 10 in 10 and then we will go on to just while Matt sets up the scenario and we'll get on with the scenario then. Cool. All right. So let's go on to this 10 in 10. So, Jasper, tell us a little bit about the working elevators, because it's something that was implemented as part of the Holiday Express route.
Yeah. So we actually had this tech working before that one, and it's a bit different because these are like fully enclosed, and you have some proper elevator music working inside. And if you go down again, you can actually press the button, and the elevator will come down again. Yeah, that's it about the elevators basically.
Cool, and it kind of all helps to enhance the feeling of kind of the living world, I guess.
Yeah. It's like you can only use them as if you're a player, so like the AI can't use them right now.
Yeah, and realize we subtitled this neutral zone. It's obviously not neutral zone, but obviously we just simulated what that looks like in the real game. But in terms of how they were built, yes, is there a particular challenge to building one of these?
I don't think so. No. So these are basically just triggers in the track, which then tell the train to shut down the panto. Not the panto, but yeah, open the VCB and cut the power to the train. So there's no special magic. Well, it was one of those things where we thought it would be nice to have it in. That's why I say actually you can. I don't know if it's going into there, but as we're passing them, you can see that the power is dropping in the middle circle thing. And it's picking up again. So it's like for a very brief moment that the power is gone. Oh yeah, these are quite cool. I really like them. Just there are 3 scattered across the route, I think. So it's one here, one in Haymarket, and one in Glasgow Green Street, and each of these plays a little melody.
I love this.
I don't know if players can hear it right now. Just I'm not hearing the audio.
Yeah, the audio is being put out.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So these are things that we probably wouldn't shown on the actual live stream, but they're nice little touches and kind of adds things to the world.
Yeah, just add a little bit of feeling.
Speaking of which, here's some moths.
Oh, that's
these
cool.
are quite cool. Yeah, it's not on every single lantern across the route, but there are a few ones. So these are at Polmount. There's one at, I'm definitely going to pronounce this wrong, but Lithbingo. I think there are some in Croy as well.
I think you did a decent job with Linlithgow, to be fair.
Oh, lovely.
So we asked, as part of this, we asked Jasper to go and collect sort of 10 things that we thought the community would be interested to find out a little bit more about on this route that, again, we might not cover over the course of the live stream. So some of these we will cover, some of these we probably won't. Moths definitely fall into that latter category.
Yeah, this the other one at Lithingo. It's like on the elevator.
So I've obviously talked a lot about the TMS already, but this is a little sort of preview of how it all kind of gets put together. As we said before, you will not get locked out of the TMS if you type in the wrong code. It will let you have anything on there, which is obviously not very secure, but it's probably the best way that we could do it without getting thousands of support tickets.
Yeah. It's obviously not correct, but makes it easy for everyone. Yeah, so we've talked about this before. So it's the door, then the advice panel with the working indicator, and you can see that it actually updates the train formation, so it will show if there's an 8-car, a 4-car, or a 3-car formation accordingly. Yeah, and then the big screen where you can select all these things from. Actually, the uncouple button works as well. Yeah, so the announcement system is part of the TMS screen. And what I like most about these is that it grabs the actual station you're at right now, or the station you're going to from the timetable, and adds it in these announcement where it says arriving at ... That's quite cool. Yeah, you can see me playing around with the repeat button there. So if you can increase the number, and then we'll basically play it 4 times, or just continuous until you say it to stop.
Fast train approaching. Fast train approaching.
So we'll talk a little bit more about the complexity of implementing this when we get back online, but it sounds like it's quite a difficult task to pull together, so kudos to the Rivet team for getting it all together.
Yeah, they've done a great job on it, and we're actually super proud of it. Yeah. Also, this is one of the cool things that we've not seen until now. So there are these red doors scattered around the route. So if you see one, make sure to click on it, because you can interact with them and open them up. There's always, well, not always, but in most cases, there's a collectible hidden behind these doors. And this is a perfect example of what we've done with most of the stations, where you can now go in and fully explore and just see a little bit more than what we've done with our last route.
Needs more rubber ducks, in my opinion, but there we go. It's really nice though. Again, we talked about sort of train sim inverted commas world before, and that's, I think, this is one of the visions that we had when we were creating train sim world, is to be able to explore the world a little bit more. So car panels we talked a little bit about already, but
it's just adds so much life to it. That's quite cool. Yeah.
So Jasper, we're going to see the full operation of the guard panels in this section. Yeah.
So that's how they're working. I think I'm going outside in a second, and then
what I really liked when I was having a look at this was the door release and the door interlock close buttons operate on all of the doors except the local door. So that as prototypically as a guard, you can close the doors, keep your eye on everything, and when you're happy with everything, duck in and press the close local door button, and then that will just close the door that you're next to as well, and that will work. So that's really cool.
Yeah, we've spent quite some time on these with the Island Line, figuring out how we can control all the doors except for the one that the guard is currently controlling. So yeah.
We've not touched it yet, but Edinburgh Castle, this is so good.
Oh yeah, so we absolutely needed to have this, because it's such a remarkable building. And as you've seen a few times now, it's really cool when the night sets in and the illumination is going on. That's super cool, and you can actually see it from the tracks down there. So yeah, I think it's a brilliant piece, and it's such a remarkable place.
Pell Brogards asked, "Will the 1 o'clock gun sound?" We heard a question actually in the live stream forum thread. And I did ask Jasper. We don't simulate that, but I think there was a little bit more to it, Jasper.
Yeah, so I don't know if I want to say that, but we had this idea about this as well, because it belongs to Edinburgh Castle, but unfortunately, getting the timing proves to be a bit hard on performance, so that's why we had to remove it.
Cool. And some custom-made objects as well. You can narrate us the way through this one, Jasper.
Yeah, just a few small things. So these are some catch pits, and then we've made the players walk around. So Princess Garden here at Edinburgh is not looking as empty as it was before. So we have a few people standing and a few walking around. And then these HTSS, I think are these called, some special type of junction that we introduced with this route. Yeah, so we have like 3 or 4 of these around the route. But yeah, that's about them, I think.
Lovely. HPSS, I think I've got on my list.
HPSS. Yeah,
Yep.
that's correct. I was close enough.
Lovely. All right. Well, let's go back to the game then, shall we?
That's good.
Right, what can I fail next?
So we're going to do the high ground scenario, aren't we, Matt?
We are indeed.
I think it's actually quite a cool one because it's set in fall and the colors are quite nice. As you'll see in a second, we'll pull down into Glasgow Queen Street, and then start a run back up again. That's quite cool. So we're just outside Glasgow right now.
Safety systems on. Bring on a red light. So DRA on. That will confuse me later on as to why we're not moving.
Tom's made a very good point actually about the trams. We didn't see the trams in the 10 in 10, Jasper.
True.
Are we going to get to see the trams later?
We can, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
All right, I'll make a note. We'll do trams. We'll obviously walk around Edinburgh Waverley as well, so that we get those in there. I'll make those notes.
Yeah. We will need to fly out to Haymarket and Edinburgh Park so we can see these.
The view on these 385s is just like the driver's view was an afterthought.
I was going to say, actually, it doesn't seem like it's that...
Well, the original
functional.
385s had more of a curved windscreen on them, but it turned out to be a bit of a design flaw because what that did was it meant to where when you were seeing signals at a certain position on the screen, it would double them up. And it actually made it really difficult for the drivers to see what's going on. So they had to go back for re-engineering, and they've got these flat windows on the front of them now. But yeah, it was intended to look slightly different.
Yeah.
There
David
you go.
Ham...
See, told you it would confuse me as to why the train wasn't moving. There you go.
David Ham's asked about Queen Street as well. We can do a little walk around to Queen Street as well when we're done.
Sure. Love to see that. Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. It's just that you can see so little from these cab windows. Yeah.
External
Bit
cams
weird.
for the win, I think.
Oh yeah.
There is this thing that I've also noted, which I thought was quite clever when I spotted it. Is see in a lot of in these trains, you really can't put your head out of the window, can you? It's just not a thing with the modern train. And of course, in the sim, quite a lot of the time, we sort of say, you know what, but people want to put their heads out the window, so we'll put the cameras there. But what this train does is it's got a camera, a black and white camera. That sort of fakes it as if there was a camera that you were looking through on the side. And I thought that was a really neat solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there actually is a camera. So if you look outside the train, there's this little bump. Yeah. So a bit further up, yeah, this little bump there. I think that's the camera in real life that you're looking out from.
Cool. A couple of quick questions from the chat, because I've seen a few go in there. Will there be, BDL Train Spotters asked, will there be a bundle including the base game? There will not be a starter pack for this particular route. Ferrominero's asked, the trams are AI only. Yes, they are. Armadar's asked, I don't know if it's a loaded question or not, but what's the difference between Edinburgh and Glasgow? I'm sure there are a few Scottish people in the chat who will gladly regale you on that one. James the Av Geek asked, what time on Thursday did this release in the UK? So for Xbox, it will be around about 10 in the morning, give or take. And for Epic and Steam, it will be later in the afternoon. For PlayStation, it will likely be 10 a.m. or 10 a.m.-ish on the 31st. Adrian's asked, is PIS displayed in destinations if placed onto other routes? Jasper, one for you.
We've done in the past with West Cornwall and the Old Island Line, I believe. Yeah, there's one or two.
I think the question is more about whether you've got dot matrix displays that can, in theory, have anything on them. If you put this on, to pick a random example, Colnacken, will it display the actual destinations from the route? Because some of the trains these days do that. I've not tried this one to see whether it would work on that actually. Obviously the announcement system. The announcement system won't work, of course, but then would it show Colne Station down here, for example?
Sorry, I've got that wrong. No, it won't, because it chooses from a list of predefined destinations.
That makes sense, because it's linked in with the TMS.
Yeah. Quite an interesting story about this ramp that we just went down. In the early days of Glasgow Queen Street, the trains were so weak that they had to use second train or rope in order to get them up that steep hill. Just something that I find quite interesting. But nowadays, obviously, the trains are powerful enough. Just a little bit of random facts.
Will it matter if we go for a little wander around Queen Street now?
Yes, indeed.
This is quite an interesting station as well, just from an architectural point of view. Yep, there's the other piano. Just because it was rebuilt in 2020, 2021, something like that, where they kept the original arches and then just rebuilt the entire front. It looks quite stunning in real life, I think. And yeah.
I see the planters. They're obviously used in Cathcart Circle as well. They're not used as collectibles on this route. They're more scenery items.
Yep.
There was a question from Brandon Cactus Juice, who asked about the signalling on this route. Now, Jasper, whether you're the best person or most qualified person within Rivet to talk about the signalling on the route or not, I'm going to open the question generally to you in terms of a general summary of what the signalling is like on the route.
I have to pass on that one, to be honest. I'm not familiar with Scottish signalling, no.
Cool.
How do you mean what it's like, Brandon? I mean, in terms of the implementation, the how it looks, it's fairly standard UK colour light signals.
I was imagining that, yeah, but the question made me think there might be something different. Okay.
Also,
get out of the way, passengers.
Also, very much enjoyed the piano as well.
They're never going to give you up. Yeah, exactly.
That would have been a great Rickroll.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm.
You can also shut the door by operating these switches as well.
It's the one on the door. Yeah. That one.
Leon's asked, are there working escalators and ticket machines in some stations? Ticket machines, I don't believe so. Escalators, Jasper?
No.
No.
Just the elevators are working.
The elevators.
It's cab shut down, so we can open this one up.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Open the door.
So this is the door you need to open first before you can open this one.
Go. Let's set our cab up.
Yeah. Oh, and you might want to close the cab door because otherwise the train won't let you drive off.
No, there we go. Close the one.
Yeah.
BDL Transport, can we see the 314? I think we're focusing on the 385 tonight. If we see the 314, it'd be a happy coincidence. I don't think we'll probably see it tonight, but it does layer on to the route, a couple of services and a couple of AI services too.
And the lower levels of Queen Street aren't
Welcome
accessible
to
in
the
this
ScotRail service to
in this route.
Edinburgh Waverley.
Well, that's a good question in there. Does the 385 layer onto Cathcart Circle? No, it doesn't. That absolutely wouldn't be realistic at all, because Cathcart is set to a time where the 385 wasn't present. So, no, it's not.
Obviously, you can use it on Scenario Planner, though, if you so wish.
Yeah.
Les just asked, are the trams accessible? I mean, you can see them, yes. You can't operate them, though. Can you go in as a passenger, Jasper?
Unfortunately not, no.
No, they're kind of more scenery and world-filling features than player operational or player interactable.
A bit like
exactly.
the Schweber barn on Roundel Austin.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly like that.
Phil's asked, when is this route set, please? I believe it's the modern day, is it not, Jasper?
Yeah, as of right now. And I've seen the headlights on the train. Would notice that. I will note that down and forward to the engineers.
What's wrong with headlights?
They were on the rear. Headlights on the rear.
Yeah. On the AI train.
Oh,
to our
yes,
left.
okay. That does remind me, I don't think I changed my headlights on the rear of my train either, but that's me.
Well, that's actually, if you look to the right, that's quite cool, because we could check that with this little display that we have there.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
No,
so
it's-
it shows
it's-
you. Yeah,
Set them up with reds on the back then.
perfect. Yeah. So the left and the right one are the remote, lights, and then you have this one showing you what your light setup is currently.
So while we're picking up some speed, should we talk about the sounds on the 385? I think we probably we've seen quite a lot of comments in the chat about the sounds. So Jasper, in terms of the source material and the recordings that we have for the 385, how have they been collected for this particular route?
That's a question you would need to pass on to our sound engineer. I would love to answer that in like a blog post or something like that, or on the forums, but I don't know as of yet.
Cool. Matt, do you have any insight at all, Matt, on that?
I know that there's been a lot of getting access to trains is an an always existing problem, some of this train has been recorded. I know that these are recordings from the train, but they're not necessarily done by, as we would always prefer, to strap microphones under the under bogies and so forth. That obviously requires a lot of special arrangement. Let me just check outside here. I was going past Eastfield. There's Eastfield just coming up here. So yeah, I just want to show Eastfield since we're going by it. So yeah, it wasn't done using like on equipment recording. So there was a kind of doing it. I know that the Rivet sound engineer did the absolute best they could with to try and get those recordings, and we are still in talks with ScotRail to see what we can line up. So not going to make any promises at this point, but it is these things are always things that we're trying to seek.
Yeah, we always want to try and provide the most authentic we possibly can do, and obviously the best way to do that is how you've just described, Matt. So we're working on it.
Right, that was Eastfield Depot. There's a couple of scenarios that start in Eastfield. There's some services that start or finish at Eastfield, so they'll be using the depot.
Yeah, so there are a few morning services where you can roll in and out of the depot. There's one scenario as well where you start in a depot and then need to reverse, and then go into the main line towards Edinburgh.
Pilgrims asked, are there any trains that double up units? I think we talked about this at the very start, Jasper, but for the benefit of everybody else who's come a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have. I was just confused by Matt's driving. Sorry.
Oh no!
I was confused by Matt's driving as well. Jeez.
Oh no!
Wow.
So yeah, we
Bishop's
have.
Brig is a thing of the past.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's fine. We'll be able to reverse.
Yeah, so we have the 4
This is
and
just
8
another
car
demo.
services in there.
Oh yeah, another opportunity to demo.
Selective door opening. Yeah. Okay. I've been playing express services, so I've been like 15 miles between stops. This 2 miles between stops thing is alien to me at the moment. I don't quite know why, but
that excuse isn't too bad, to be honest.
there you go. See, I'm a master at it.
I'm sure there are people who have been around for a lot longer than I have who have been measuring the amount of overshoots and the length of the overshoots that Matt has done on live streams. Please take a note of how far that one was and let me know if it is the furthest that we've ever seen.
No. Knebworth was the furthest. Knebworth was the furthest. I went through the station at 80 miles an hour with a class 47 and local coaches. We didn't stop for like 2 miles.
Adam's asked, where's the sorry we overshot the station announcement?
Sorry, Matt's driving statement announcement. Oh no.
I just want to refer to this question about the brakes being weak, because I've seen it popping up a few times now. We had this feeling as well, and we then went back to... Well, that's interesting.
Well, I've cleared the section behind, except it's allowed that train in there.
No! Oh no!
Do you have the console on this
No.
build? No. Oh, okay.
Well, that's my station stop. Go away.
That's going to be
Right.
interesting.
Okay. So, I think at this point we just do a Glasgow service. Okay. So, expertly
have fun,
demonstrated by. All right. Let's do 385.
I mean, to be fair, the train probably did think you weren't meant to stop at that station because you went so far past it. So.
It was like in a different county by the time I'd stopped, wasn't it? Really? So, yeah. Well, I understand. Oh dear. Apologies, folks.
All right.
They are messed up. You're right. I messed up. Oh dear. I'm tired. Right, let's put that to there. Let's put that to there. Let's get the doors.
I think that's an 8-car unit we're on.
Oh, actually,
Is
some.
it? Yeah, it is.
This is an 8-car. There you go. This
we
was
go.
what I wanted to demo. I wanted to demo an 8-car unit. Right.
I hope somebody clipped that, by the way.
Someone said they wanted doors from the outside.
Sorry, Jasper, you were saying about the brakes.
Oh yeah, thanks. So we went back and checked if it's correct, and there's a way you can output a graph in Train Sim World in the editor that shows you how much brake power there is, and it is what there is in real life. So if you feel these are weak, that's perfectly fine, but that's how they are in real life. Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that we're moving hundreds of tons about an iron rail, so yeah.
Just be wary that you have more loads this time, Matt.
I've also got more brakes.
True.
Yeah.
So
That's leveling out, actually.
that's very true. That's very true. Okay, we're going to go through a few. So the brakes. We have an article going live tomorrow. Actually, we were saving it for Burns night, where we actually spoke to a driver from ScotRail. So if you're interested in finding out what life is actually like driving on this route or on the 385, we have got a really interesting interview for you tomorrow. They took a look at the game as well and gave us some thoughts as well. So look forward to that one tomorrow. It's a really good read. Joe from our team did a really good job of interviewing the driver, and we've got some really good insight there as well.
I'm looking forward to that one.
A few questions, sort of more general questions about the route. So Old Vern asks, why do we go for ultra modern and the 385 rather than pre-electrification? Matt, that might be one for you, actually.
Yeah, this comes up a lot actually. There's a number of interested people in the BR Blue era and the like, and I count myself firmly among them. But the simple thing is that actually modern is where most people are interested. I'm not trying to leave at the moment, Silver Skippy. There's a train coming down, and I have a red light 10 yards in front of me. So the DRA in this instance is spot on. So yes, it is literally down to what the majority are looking for. And a lot of people I've seen asking in the previously, because the Train Sim Classic has Edinburgh Glasgow, and it's done pre-electrification. And a lot of people on that have asked for electrified versions of it, and someone actually did it and put it onto Steam Workshop. And so yeah, there are a lot of requests for doing for the electrified version, and I've seen a lot of requests for the 385 as well. So it seems only right to me, to be honest.
Well, we saw the amount of excitement around the announce of the 385 as well. So I feel, in some part, we've indicated, or at least the Rivet team have indicated in choosing as well, because there's a lot of people that are really excited.
I thought it was you, Joe. I just couldn't remember 100% certainty, but I could have swore it was good old Joe the Fish.
Kangaroo Conductors asked a sort of more general question about us working with Rivet and some of our other partners. We obviously have a lot of communication between each other, and we chat when we're building the routes, and we obviously have discussions through when we're going through the final testing and all that kind of stuff. How are we going to improve the opportunities that we're seeing with, say, the likes of Rivet building things like the TMS system, the working guard panels, things like that, which obviously would be really interesting opportunities for our own routes that we're making. And similarly with, say, something like the GSMR on this route, for instance, which we made for Birmingham Cross City. How are we going to improve kind of that flow of information, or the flow of expertise or tools or whatever it needs to be, in order to make sure that that becomes a regular thing, or a more standardized thing?
I mean, we always want to? The thing is, it's not as simple as, now that TMS has been done, then it can just be switched on. It's never that simple. Quite a long way from that. I mean, TMS is there's a different TMS set of screens and so forth in every train almost. So it's never a simple thing. Once you've got the basic core tech, it still needs to be a decision for each individual system developer to work out, and this applies equally for all the other third-party developers, what they want to put in. This instance, this train doesn't have GSMR, but it does have all these other really cool things. Because in this instance, if you wanted GSMR, then there's a lot of extra work on the art and so forth. So you choose where you're going to spend your time, what's important, and so forth. So but it's really making sure that we try and help everyone communicate better in terms of what there is available, and how how those things can be employed, and then trying to make things so for example, a lot of the safety systems like AWS are now in the core game, so it is much more simple to implement AWS by adding the appropriate UI elements or buttons, interactives, and then just linking those into the core AWS system. And some of the others like PZB, again, they're in the core now as well. So at some point when it's matured, things like TMS will come down into the core system and be a more general thing as well. But this is very early. It's very cool, but it's very early, and we want to see where it goes. And even if you want to make another train right now, you can just copy it across to that train. So it's not like it's hard. But no, don't consider any of these things to be, well, it's done now, so it's never that simple. Even with a relatively simplistic GSMR implementation that we had in the recent trains that we did, the 323 for example, there would still be a fair bit of work to bring that across.
And it's actually quite a lot of work to set up these screens, because from what our software engineer has mentioned, it's really hard to set these up, and really complicated. So a lot of time goes into our feature.
And it's something, all the screens that we've set up in the past, when we first did the AC 4400 on Sandpatch grade, we spent weeks on relatively limited functionality, getting that all working. We don't spend anything like that much now because it's got better. We've worked out how to make it a leaner thing to make, and the same thing will happen here. It will get it'll get improved and streamlined, become more generic than for other systems and other environments. So there's a lot of things to be discussed about. Into it's. And some of that will be discussions with players about where you prefer to be. For example, one of the really neat things about this is that you get really good quality sound because it's recorded. You listen to recordings of a real person. Whereas you could use a text-to-speech engine, in which case you could have it working anywhere on any route, but it wouldn't sound anywhere near as good. And these are sort of compromises and discussions and decisions and sort of what's the best way of doing things. And maybe the answer is a combination of the two. I don't know. But as these are discussions to have. What Rivet have done here is a really firm foundation that gives us all something to play with and say what we like about it, and we can then build from that.
Yeah. And actually, we as Rivet Games are absolutely looking forward to what this tech might evolve to in the future, and what else we can do with it. Or not only we, but other parties as well. So yeah.
Just to be clear, I'm not intending to stop at this station this time. We are intending to leave this station. 8 miles. See, these are the more distances I'm used to. Express services.
So I've got a kind of a little subsection here of questions from Timtree, because Timtree submitted quite a few questions for this live stream, and thank you very much, because there was a lot of them and they're all very good, very interesting questions. We're going to try and whistle through some of them just while we are waiting to sort of hit Croy, well, hopefully not pass Croy, so Jasper, are the different units able to couple or uncouple in timetable modes, like the Electra Stars on London Commuter, for example?
There's no coupling or uncoupling in the timetable mode, no. There's one on a scenario, but not on the timetable.
Okay.
For those that want to do coupling, by the way, it's you do it in these screens here. So if you click on the up arrow here, there's an uncouple screen, and you can use that then to do your uncoupling. Coupling is, I think, more automatic, but uncoupling is done on that screen. So if you're trying to find out how to uncouple, turn the TMS on.
Yeah, that's worth noting. And also, in order to decouple or uncouple, you need to be in the cab that you're uncoupling from. So there's no remote uncoupling, and you need to have the master key inserted for this to work. So master key and then TMS, or I think the shortcut is Control-Shift-C. And it will then, like for 10 seconds, and disable the coupling, and after 10 seconds it will automatically recouple again if you haven't moved back.
Cool. Just to interrupt the Timtree questions, there was a question that's been asked a few times by Armadar around are rush hour passengers implemented on this route?
So I worked with Lee actually a couple of days ago, going through adjusting passenger curves and alighting and boarding curves. So yeah, this should all be rush hour, absolutely. Cool.
Back to Timtree's questions. I've heard the services from Edinburgh to Glasgow don't stop at Edinburgh Park Station. Is this stop completely modelled and supported in Scenario Planner? Do other trains from layers stop there perhaps?
It's fully supported and it's fully modelled. It's like built to the level of detail that the other stations are built to as well. And there aren't any other trains stopping there right now.
But it is in Scenario Planner, if I remember rightly, so you can make your own train that stops there.
Yeah, so you can select it, definitely.
Cool. We spoke a little bit about trams already, but is it a system based on road traffic feature like the Schreberbahn in Reimer-Osten, or is it a bespoke creation by Rivet? And are the trams random or based on actual timetable and stopping patterns? And then part C, do they light up at night?
So the trams are built as a basic train. So it's literally a train set up there that drives.
A closer analogy would be the barge on Bremen, which is a train.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it has its own timetable. Yeah, you can't get on it. You can get really close to it at Edinburgh Park. And then it has interior lighting, but the head or tail lights aren't working.
Cool. And we talked about it being similar to the barge on Bremen Oldenburg. Is it available in livery designer?
Unfortunately not.
No. Okay. This is a good one to tackle. The walk around preview video. Oh, and if you've not seen the walk around preview videos that and the dev blogs that Rivet have put together, they're really, really good. So if you want a little bit of light watching after this, then recommend you go and check them out. But the blinds in the first class section seem to be shut. Is that something that we're aware of? Is it something that's accurate? Is it something that we will be changing?
This should be fixed as of right now. Yeah, so you can see they're all set to different heights, and it's based on a system that we implemented that takes into account how warm it is and how much sunlight there is, or basically how cloudy it is. And then depending on these settings, it automatically sets the blinds to a random amount, basically simulating people pulling down these blinds in real life.
Lovely. Thank you very much. I'm just taking a quick look at the questions and seeing which ones we've asked already. Yeah, and I think can we walk right up to the trams on their platforms as well? I think you mentioned this. We can walk up to the platform, but not onto the platform. You're really close, though.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's correct.
Do you happen to know what sort of time we can see a tram at Edinburgh Park or Haymarket? Because we can spawn on foot and go and have a look at them after we've done this.
I don't know for sure.
Figure it out.
Yeah, they have an AI timetable, so it's not based on any real life one.
JG plays Roblox. Does a roadmap for the month mean that the content is coming out that same month? Nope. It just means that we've announced it. When we have full release dates for content, we will share them with players accordingly. Oh, good question for the Unexpected Goose. How easy is the TMS screen to use on a controller? And are there any keybinds? It was another question that I seen mentioned from Red Rev.
Not aware of any keybinds. The controller is fine. It's a bit fiddly, but it works. In fact, the controller's the reason the PS5 one was delayed. Was there any keybinds set up, Jasper?
No, sorry. There are no keybinds. There, well, it's sort of true for the uncoupling. There are keybinds.
Yes.
Not for anything else.
Coral Crazy Killer's asked a good question.
Welcome to the ScotRail service.
In terms of the work that started on Edinburgh Glasgow, I imagine it was fairly soon after the Island Line was released that work began on this particular route, which would imply that we were kind of in the realms of TSW3 being developed and being a thing. Are there any of the features that were included within TSW3 which were particularly difficult to implement? Are there any that are, which ones are included and which ones maybe are not at this stage?
So for the release build, we won't have the platforms reflecting the rain, so like being shiny and that stuff. And we won't have the snow on the TSW3 snow, which is like built up way higher. But other than that, the pantograph has its sparks, so that's implemented as well. I'm not sure on the weather. Maybe Matt can help me out with that one.
I think all the other weather effects are pretty much there. The one that makes the kick-up effect is automatic on every train. So I think it really is, as you say, it's the rain on the platforms and it's the depth of snow are the ones that haven't made it in.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
I believe the pantograph's sparking was actually in the Island Line, wasn't it? Before we released TSW3, so...
Yeah, that was the thing we implemented then for these like third rail contact shoes. That was, sort of being controlled by how wet it is and if there's snow. Or, yeah.
Lord Voltros, is there any seasonality in relation to the layers that are involved in the route? So is the RHTT used, say, in the autumn, or are the 314, is the 314 used at any particular time of year, or is it across the spectrum of the year?
It's across the spectrum of the year. So,
Okay.
yeah, in all seasons.
Good question from Transportation Channel. What is the time duration for a full run down the line? I guess it depends if you've got an all-stop or if you've got an express service. Jasper?
Yeah, so these express services are between 50 minutes and 55, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. But these vary a bit on how fast you can exit Waverley or Edinburgh, so there are sometimes some red signals.
Keeping an eagle eye on how far it is to my next destination.
I've never seen Matt as concentrated in his life.
We're having a discussion about these GSW3 features internally, but there's nothing to announce as of right now.
Kieran Hope, can we put a destination of our choice on the, I would say that, well, I don't think any of those routes are covered in the Edinburgh Glasgow route, but the 385, let's say, yes, can we put a destination of our choice on them?
Yes, as far as they are included in this train. So there's, yeah, as Matt cycles through, there are a few included. Yeah, we spoke about this earlier, so it won't pick up automatic destinations depending on the route it's set on. So if you take it on Bremen, Oldenburg, for example, it's not going to have Bremen or Oldenburg in there.
That was it. That was the neutral section.
Or something has put in the chat that it's 7:06 where you can see a tram.
7:06.
Yeah, would be good to know which station that is.
Thank you, Paul.
Train simulator driver. Well, that's great news. Thanks.
So MJ, True DK, we've shown the guard panel in use a couple of times on this stream, one right at the start and one in the pre-recorded segment that we do called 10 in 10. We'll timestamp this live stream afterwards so you can take a look at it. I think we've done the guard panel a couple of times now, so we won't do it again tonight.
Good question about the 7-car trains. There are no 7-car trains. It's just 4, 8 and 3-car trains.
So yes, well, what's the general feeling at Rivet at the moment around the route? I know it's been a long process to get to the point that we're at now. A lot of kind of blood, sweat and tears have gone into this particular route. What's the feeling given that we are 2 days away from release now, and this is the first time that players are kind of seeing it properly in the wild?
Yeah, so it's always like interesting to see what players are thinking, because these live streams, these preview streams are always the first moment when we have actual player feedback outside the beta forums on the route. So it's particularly exciting for us. We're quite happy with how it looks right now. Obviously, there are always some things that we would like to fix or that we are going to fix. It's been a great challenge, as you mentioned before. It's been our longest route to date. But given the fact that it's right in front of our door, that's been quite cool, because all the people that were working on it actually have been on these trains, including me actually. So that's quite cool. So yeah, we're happy with the main details that we were able to put in, for example, in Glasgow or in Edinburgh with Haymarket and the castle and the very specific buildings around the Waverley station, because there are some remarkable buildings right around it that we were able to model. So yeah, quite happy with it, and now really looking forward to the player feedback. But yeah, as I mentioned, I think there are always some things, and our artists will agree with me on that one. There are always some things that we would love to change or spend more time on. But yeah.
Flying I drive super quickly.
What question from Melbourne Metro Trains folks? What does CPBC stand for?
It's basically controlled.
Combined Power Brake Controller.
It's the controller for the dynamic brake and the
And
yeah, and how
DDS
much
is
power
the
is
driver's
applied.
direction switch.
Cool.
Yeah. Cheers, Matt.
Carl's train spotting. Do you think there'll ever be a ScotRail route in this TSW? If it's not like standard reply, get your bingo cards out. If it's not on the roadmap, then assume it's not coming. At the moment, as I say, what we have to talk about is on the roadmap, and at the moment, everything else assume nothing is going on.
Did the train driver come back with what station we need to be on?
I think he was just giving it a check.
There's someone asking if we can get a comment on the request for a delay. We've talked about this earlier in the live stream. Yeah. So please go back to that. And I won't give away what the mastering is. That'd be boring.
We've seen a couple of the collectibles already. What are the collectibles for this route, Jasper?
So we have the poster, Scottish Edinburgh theme poster, of course. The route map. Then we have these haggis plush that we've seen before, and the last one is a suitcase that shows a bagpipe if you collect it. That's quite cool, I think.
Oh, nice.
So having these like two Scottish themed.
I like that.
Yeah,
got-
collectibles.
We've got a time. Edinburgh Park, 7:06 in June.
Thank you, Paul.
General question from SimGamer. Thank you very much for tuning in for your first live stream by the sounds of things. We tend to talk about features and things like what you suggested there in terms of mouse support for Xbox. We talk about those in our roadmap streams, where we'll kind of go into what we're working on from core improvements perspective. At the moment, it's not on our roadmap, so it's not something that we're actively working on, but something in the future possibly, as we look to kind of try and help with things like accessibility and all that kind of thing moving forward.
Yes, Trixie will be running and having a look at the trams.
Jonathan, the timetable is based on now. The route is based in the present day.
Oh, and good question about the HST, because it's quite, yeah, I've seen that a few times. That's not in there, and the HST that's in game would require some major work, because the ScotRail HST is completely different.
Yeah, it's got different doors.
Yeah.
I presume it's got the train interlock system that the Castle GWRs have got as well. So,
I think the interior is different as well. Yeah.
almost certainly, yes.
Yeah. So it's more than just a repaint. Yeah. Just a repaint in big quotation marks.
This train is for Edinburgh Waverley.
I've just seen a comment. They're not hearing the train announcements. You've got to do them yourself, and I keep forgetting. You press the button. You press the button for the what you want. You can use these to scroll up and down, or you can use these to jump to specific groups. Pick the one that you want, and then you press announce.
Don't forget to take your belongings with you before you leave the train.
And as Jasper said earlier on, you can say whether it's once, whether you do it over and over again, and whether you repeat it a number of times. And if you put it over and over again, you can just hit the stop button to stop it from playing.
Yeah. Same goes for the repeat as well. You can always stop it. There's an interesting thing about these window wipers as well. On the left hand side there's this forced wipe button. It's like below the green one. This one, yeah. Which is just there in game. But in real life it activates. So it seems to activate a mode where the wiper is going extremely hard. Yeah, so you have two ways of enabling the window wipers.
Yeah, I noticed that earlier on.
Yeah.
Some questions. Captain Price asks, does it go to Stirling or not? I
No,
don't believe so, no.
it's just the main line between, or just the main
main
line, between Glasgow and Edinburgh. The sun blinds are working, as we mentioned earlier on. They're also set automatically if it's sunny and fall. We've also spoken about layers, so that's right at the beginning of this live stream.
Yeah, we'll reiterate them again.
Awesome.
I've got the list to hand. So if you have, so let's go through all of the services. So there are 221 playable services with the 385 and 143 AI services with the 385. That comes with the Edinburgh Glasgow route. And then if you have, there are also 78 AI tram services as well. As Jasper mentioned, they are presented like a train would be, so they have their own sort of mini timetables accordingly, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see one in a second. Then we have got 2 player services for the 314 and 2 AI services for the 314 if you own Glasgow Cathcart Circle. And if you own the RHTT, there is 1 player service on it and 2 AI services on it. So that's all the layers that come with, that you can layer onto this particular route. By AI services, SimGamer, we mean they are computer, or they're operated by the computer rather than being operatable by the player. So that you might pass them as you're driving past on your route.
Super Tram asked if you'll be able to put the 385 on the scenario planner. Yes, you are.
Absolutely.
On Cathcart, sorry. Yeah. So basically on every route then.
And all those layers are available for both Gen 8 and Gen 9. So if you own them on PlayStation 4 or Xbox Series X or Xbox One, then you should be able to have access to it.
Yeah.
Someone asking about the driver blind. Yes, it does. And over on the right-hand side, you've got independent controls for the wipers over here as well.
Yeah, I think the blind is working as well. Yeah, exactly.
Next station, Haymarket.
And 315 is not a layer within the Cathcart line. You can use it on scenario planner, those we mentioned just now.
385.
385, what did I say?
315.
315, sorry, 385.
Get everyone excited that we're making a 315.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if I'd leaked it, but there is no plans,
We are not.
Don't worry. I knew the chorus was going to come out like that. Scottish Gamer, all the announcements, do you mean as in the possible announcement on the TMS system? We've shown those a few times over the course of the live stream. They will be available to see on demand afterwards. I'm sure as the live stream continues over the course of the next minutes or so, we'll show you what that looks like.
We'll do some more on it, yeah.
Red Rev, there's not a TGV layer, no. Fermo, yep, we're going to try to see the tram in a bit.
This train is for Edinburgh Waverley.
Doffels Plays asked, did the auto testing come into effect on this route?
It helped us quite a bit, actually, work with Rivet on the general performance of the route. It highlighted where there was some performance problems, particularly in Eastfield Depot before. And in a couple of other areas, and as the Rivet team made improvements, they were using the auto test to sort of evaluate the changes and benefits those, and actually brought the performance on all platforms up to a really good level.
Yeah, these actually have been really helpful, so it's great that we've been able to use them.
Station name here says, did Tram show up on the map? I'm not sure they would they, Jasper?
They do, yeah.
Oh, they do? Okay, brilliant.
So we might be able to see one.
Nope.
Nope, there isn't one at the moment. Okay. Hmm.
So we are 10 miles outside of Haymarket, and I don't know my Scottish geography particularly well.
That means we're about 2 miles outside of Edinburgh by the time we get there.
Wonderful. Okay.
Haymarket is there, Edinburgh is there.
Lovely. Nismo's asked, are the depots populated with standing stock?
Yes. This is true for the Eastfield depot. There are no class 3 at 5 stored at the Haymarket depot, or what's the one called in the middle? It's at Croy. Yeah, there's another depot there which just have been renovated.
Next station is Haymarket.
Matt, can we hear the... I guess it's difficult to operate. Is it possible for us to operate the TMS and listen to it as a passenger? It's going to be a challenge, isn't it? Because you have to manually implement.
Are you going to rib me for missing another station?
I was going to ask you when we're about 3 miles out, but...
Next station is Haymarket.
Failed.
The next station is Haymarket.
I think that really actually shows that obviously when you've got the ambient noise in the cab, obviously it sounds a little bit quieter, doesn't it? But when you're actually in with the passengers, it kind of sounds, I guess, as you would expect it to sound.
We've
as a
been talking
passenger.
to a few people about this, and we found that in a lot of cases you barely hear the passenger announcements in the cab, because obviously they're not for the driver. In some cases but it's kind of like, so potentially this is a little bit amped up so you can hear it, but so even though it seems quiet. But this is one of the things we want to understand about is if in reality you can't hear it, should you still be able to hear it? I think you should, but we also think maybe that should be a setting. None of this stuff is easy. Fun though, and that's what matters.
Does it trigger the onboard displays as well when you trigger the announcements, or is it an audio cue rather than a visual cue?
Audio.
Audio. Okay.
Audio, just audio. Yeah.
Review of the viaduct. Six and a half miles out of Haymarket. Let's check. Let's go on Tram watch again. It's a 3-car unit. No sign of a tram yet.
I keep my fingers crossed.
Well, if not, we know when to go and jump to find one.
Yeah. No, they're definitely there. I've seen them before, so yeah.
It's one of those ones, isn't it, where they are elusive and when you actually need them, and then you probably see about 5 or 6 when you don't want to see them.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Fat Frank, do the trams have PIS? I would imagine not, Jasper, is the answer to that
No.
question.
Yeah, that's correct. No, they don't.
Hentis has asked, what are the pathways like in Scenario Planner? Are you able to answer that one, Jasper?
You can basically go the full route or just choose any in-between station. Oh, there's a tram. Actually. I don't know if you wanted to know something else, but it's basically the mainline station up and down. So, yeah.
William has asked what's the release date. So for Xbox, Steam and Epic, it is this Thursday. For PlayStation players, it will be Tuesday the 31st of January. Mikey, the trams aren't rideable, no. They are a scenery element rather than an interactive element.
Yeah, that's correct. And actually, if we look to the right, we can see the tram station. And so you can walk up to where these, to where the station begins, but not onto the station.
I just see where our little tram got to. Oh, it's still sat there.
We might be able to see it then.
Sorry?
If it stays there, we'll be able to see it.
We'll see it somewhere because we're alongside the tram line now.
Oh, wonderful. Scottish Games asked, will there be any pre-order benefits? Well, if you pre-order on Steam, you get a 10% discount. Those are them's the benefits.
It's actually available on the Rivet store as well for pre-order, but it's the same 10%.
Essex Mainline, can you set the announcements to automatic so when you're approaching Haymarket, the announcement for approaching Haymarket will play with the player without the player doing it themselves? I believe we've answered this a couple of times already, and again, Jasper, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they are entirely manual at this stage.
Yes, that's correct.
You threw in the phrase "at this stage," however, there's no plans to change
sorry.
that.
Yeah, fine. Matt's getting good
I'm
at
being
this.
Sam.
Yeah, Matt's getting good at this. I let my guard down for 10 seconds and Matt jumps in. Is that Murrayfield?
Mm-hmm.
That's Murrayfield.
Stadium.
And then you've got the depot. In fact, you've got another. This is another power shut out here, and another power on. So this is the other neutral section we just went over. That's Murrayfield. And just after Murrayfield is the depot. And there's the tram sitting over there. Let me just pile on lots of brakes.
Probably a good idea. Ah, there we go.
So it won't open up the doors when it's stopped. But yeah, every time it starts, you can hear a little bell going. Not only when it starts, but yeah, while it's driving as well.
Night Rail, yeah, that is a rugby stadium, yes.
Sports field.
Are we alright for the braking, Matt?
It's going to be my best stop ever when I'm not watching.
I was going to ask.
I'm watching the distance count down at 20 miles an hour. We're coming in slow.
Oh.
Now it's moving.
I think you should try a no-look stop, Matt. Give the people what they want. Show them that you can do it with your eyes closed, effectively.
Used to do that with Sam on the challenges. Used to blindfold
You're
me.
actually speeding up, by the way, as well.
I know.
Okay, fine. just wanted to know.
Okay, that's cool. It's unloaded itself, so I don't have the distance anymore.
How come Edinburgh Glasgow's not applied on the Xbox Microsoft Store yet? It's because it releases on Thursday. Matt, we gave you so many chances.
Well, I missed it by 15, 16 yards. 19, 22-ish. It's fine. If I stop in the right country, we're close enough.
Please take extra care
So-
when getting on and off trains.
Yeah, the stopping marker is not where it's supposed to be. I've noted that down and will forward to our desk.
One mile to go.
So a couple of questions about pricing. If you are on Steam, you'll obviously be able to see what the price is on your platform already because it's available to pre-order with a 10% discount. So at the moment it's £26.99. I don't have to hand what that is translated into dollars and euros, but the normal price will be $29.99 and then $39.99 in euros, I believe.
It's $35.99 in euros.
$35.99, sorry, euros. And
Yeah.
Jasper is best equipped to talk about that because he is currently in Germany.
That's true. I think it's 32 euros something with the $10%
Yeah,
pre-order discount.
good shout. Thanks, Jasper.
No, no worries.
We'll have a wander around Edinburgh Waverley. And I think that'll do us for tonight. I was just trying to think if there's anything else we wanted to show I've got on my list. We've covered quite a lot of ground tonight, so if we've not shown something that you've been looking out for and you've tuned in to the stream a little bit late, we'll timestamp this as best we can do so that you can find the bit that you're interested in. That'll probably be tomorrow morning, though.
It's quite an iconic approach to a station, I think. You come out of the tunnel and then have the castle to your right, just sitting up there.
Cooey. If you've not been, Edinburgh Castle is brilliant.
I actually haven't. Shame on me. I've been to Edinburgh but not had the time to visit the castle properly.
But it was better than the Tower of London, if you're being honest.
Okay. Okay.
I know they're not
Bold
the
statement.
same. I know they're not the same thing, but
It kind of depends where you are, which one's going to be best to look at.
the access to Edinburgh Castle again, I believe, is not simulated in this route. Jasper, is it?
No.
No,
No.
you can see it from a distance. And one of the things I have noted as well is seeing Edinburgh at night, which we'll do after this as well.
Oh
You
yeah,
can
that's
see
a
it
good
at
idea.
night.
You're getting some support with the Tower of London.
They're both great, but Edinburgh Castle was my favourite.
Nice rescue.
Sophie's asked, is wheel slip simulated?
I think so, yes.
Yes, it is. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that I suffered from it in some of my winter testing, but rumours were around, yeah.
Fat Frank's asking, we used all of the platforms at Edinburgh in Scenario Planner.
Only the front ones, and not all of them, I believe. Just a selection. That's actually a good question because you can't fully explore Waverley, so we'll show you in a second how far you can go. But basically, it's the entire front half, and then you can look to the rear, but not explore it fully.
I'm not going to finish the service. I'm going to wander around rather than waiting. I went the wrong way, but hey.
Yep.
TCV, probably a question for you, Jasper, actually. What is your favourite station on the route?
Clearly, Waverley. It's just the sheer size and the sunlight pattern that's on the floor. Yeah, perfect example here. It's just there's something about it, and then
The
having all
shadows
these
set it off,
pillars
yeah.
with these ornaments on it and the two rams. I think it's just a brilliant station. Looks really cool.
The pillars look great as well. Pillars look
Yeah.
really, really impressive.
Yeah. A lot of time went into creating these and how we can make them work best on this route.
Is he working lift?
Yep, that's working. So you should be able to hear some music now.
Oh, that's proper music, that is.
And actually, that's the famous walkway, which you're able to explore, and gives you quite a nice overview of the station, I think.
So from what I recall from when I've been exploring, essentially, sort of the cut-off point is kind of here somewhere. So you can explore all the way around here, but you can't go this side, if I recall
Yeah.
correctly.
So there's this building in the middle, and basically you can walk up to the rear edge of it, and that's about it.
Yes, this is the control center.
Yeah, exactly. So that's fully modeled. But yeah. Okay, it's further on this side. On the other side, you're able to walk up to the edge of the building in the middle.
Oh yeah, the lighting's nice in that room.
Yeah, or look at the roof. That's quite special.
Oh wow.
Just this large bullseye. Yeah, so you can walk up here and
You can see the operations depot, but you can't touch.
yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Right.
Should we just do quickly show it at night? Show Edinburgh at night, and then we will call it an evening for tonight. Do this. For those pointing out that it is Burns night tomorrow night, we were aware of this. We were aware of this. Obviously, didn't release it on Burns night, which might have been a little bit of a slip on our part, but it will be out around about the time of Burns night, so everybody can celebrate accordingly. So we just quickly venture out of the station and see what Edinburgh's like, and obviously we'll try and see what the castle looks like at night as well. Come on, passengers, hurry up. We want to get going.
Yeah, that's the famous castle up there.
Ah, okay, well. I mean, that looks all right from this angle, doesn't it, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really cool. And on that bridge that we're on right now, there's actually a small platform that players can get up to and like peek over the edge. Have quite a nice view.
Do I notice as well, Matt, that there was some lights on in the windows of some of the buildings as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've driven the route front to back in night time. It's quite a pleasant drive, actually. Done it winter. Dipping may have been involved.
It looks lovely.
Very nice. Very nice.
All right. So, Jasper, is there anything else you would like to show tonight?
I think that's about it. That's been a great presentation.
All right. Thanks very much, everybody, for bearing us with us, those audio issues at the start. Really appreciate it. And obviously, first time of bringing somebody else onto the live stream in the setup, so we will learn for future. Thank you very much for tuning in, asking all your questions. Some really good questions in there tonight. And we hope you are all excited for Thursday or Tuesday, depending on which platform you're on. So just to reiterate, our Xbox, Steam and Epic players will have access to Edinburgh Glasgow on Thursday, so that's Thursday the 26th, and PlayStation players, we have chosen to split the release because we saw that there was an issue yesterday with the TMS system, so that will be released on the 31st of January, which is Tuesday. So any final words, Jasper, before we leave these lovely people to their evenings?
Just want to say a big thank you for all the feedback that's in the chat. Really good. Really enjoyed being on the stream, being able to show off this route for the first time. So it's been a pleasure for me. Thanks, everyone. And yeah, have a good night.
And Matt, are you excited for Thursday?
Oh, so hyped. I've been, like I said, been having great fun driving this route, and all the cool features that are on it and the visuals. So looking forward to seeing everyone's feedback.
Brilliant. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen tonight, it's available to pre-order on Steam now. You get 10% discount. And for everybody else, we look forward to seeing what your feedback is when we launch it. Thanks very much, Jasper, for tuning in. It's always great to have you on these live streams. Thanks, Matt, for, I will say, driving, but at times tonight it's been
not generous enough for an expertly driving. Well, fair enough.
But thank you very much, everybody at home, for watching, and we'll see you again next time. See you later, everybody.
All right.
you.